In the last few videos, I've been talking about decision making, especially when it comes to men. Some of the most successful men are excellent at making decisions, excellent at making things work for them, or if they're working for a multi-million dollar or billion-dollar company, they are excellent at what they do to grow that company. One of the ways where I have seen where men fall short, and that is the decision to get yourself some help. Now, I'm not talking about like medical issues and stuff. Men have been brought up to believe that if you have something going on up here, you need to take care of that on your own. You don't need to share it. You don't need to pay somebody to get help. You can figure it out on your own. To me, this doesn't make a whole lot of sense because can you imagine if you are a brilliant surgeon, let's say a cardiac surgeon, you're not going to perform surgery on yourself. Someone else is going to have to do that for you. When it comes to getting help around your mental state, and I'm not talking about therapy, I'm talking about people like me who are coaches that help people like you elevate yourself, raise your standards for yourself, help you when you get to a fork in the road, help you to figure out which way you need to go. We come from the mindset of you are the expert of your own life. We are not. We are simply just conduits. The more you give us, the more you give back. You make your own decisions for yourself. But again, when you have that mindset that you can do it on your own, one day, 1 week, a few months, maybe even a few years go by, and everything is still the same. Nothing has changed. Another year goes by where you're still in that dead-end job. You still have the weight on that you can't seem to lose. And you're still in this relationship that has died decades ago, but you don't know how to move on from it. When it comes to your success at the office, you're probably doing pretty well, but that's where you put all your energy toward. This is the thing that's keeping you alive. This is the thing that's keeping your head above water. Everything else around you is dying. And you don't know how to change it. And you're not going to get help around it. And then it turns into one bad decision after another. But the one thing that you know is that you're still making a lot of money, still very successful at your company. Your social life, your marriage, maybe your kids, your health, everything else is declining. Because this is the one thing you can control, your career. Everything else has collapsed around you. Again, we are not therapists. We don't do therapy on you. But we do help you to figure out how to manage your life. One of the best things that I had done several years ago, I had gone to a seminar on coaching. I didn't fully believe that somebody could ask me some questions and it would change the trajectory of my life. But it did. I was volunteered to be one of the coachees, somebody who was to be coached. And this woman asked me a series of questions that were actually triggering me. they were actually making me angry. In my mind, I didn't understand why she was asking me the questions that she was asking me, because the only thing I knew was that she's not listening. She's not listening to what I have to say, because in my mind, I had a special problem. And I wanted her to really understand what the special problem was. So I was fighting for my limitations, is what I was doing. And yes, she pointed that out to the crowd, because I was being coached. This was a coaching seminar. There was about 30 people around who were watching this whole process take place. And she actually said this: notice how he is fighting for his limitations. My first reaction was, fuck you. You have no idea what I'm doing. Bitch, you're not even listening to what I have to say. Of course, I didn't say any of that, but that's what I was thinking in my head. She let me talk for a little bit, and finally she just interrupted and just said, I have one question for you. What do you want to do about it? I just dumped all the shit telling her about what was going on in my life, and I wanted her to fully understand, and she stopped me dead in my tracks when she asked me that question. I didn't know what I wanted to do about it. I know I wanted to stop. I knew I wanted to get off of this trajectory, this treadmill of going nowhere, but I didn't know how. I thought maybe she was going to offer me the solutions to my challenges. But then we went deeper, and she would take one thing at a time and ask me the same thing. What do I want to do about it? It was such a simple question. After a while, I realized I was answering my own questions. I had the solutions for my own problems. But most of all, I realized the thing that was keeping me stuck. And that was my mindset. That was my old way of thinking. It's a paradigm, otherwise known as an identity. All this falls under the umbrella of identity. I had a very rigid way of being. This is how you're supposed to be. This is how you're supposed to act. This is how you're supposed to whatever. You fill in the blank. Once I could let go of that, it was weird. It was as though there was an infinite amount of possibilities. There always was, but I just didn't know it. And I realized that this is how most of you live your lives, according to your environment, what people expect out of you, your spouse, your friends, your boss, your coworkers, your religion, your political beliefs, your old tribal beliefs, whatever it is. It's the line in the sand that has been keeping you from crossing that line. And what's astounding to me, once I started to realize that, it is as though somebody just said, hey, I just put an imaginary barrier here. Now you can't cross that. You're not allowed to. I said so. And you, me included, have always bought into that story. It's astounding how one coaching session changed my life. Now, I was actually blessed that weekend because I was volunteered twice. And the second time was even more impactful because I don't remember the conversation. I don't even remember the questions that she asked me. What I do remember is walking off the stage and realizing that In that moment, I am not the same person that I was when I walked up onto that stage. I knew I was different. I knew that I had let go of my old self, but I could not explain it because it was such a visceral feeling. And the interesting thing was, this was in Chicago where I got my training at. When I came back to Nebraska, I had a friend of mine pick me up at the airport. First words out of his mouth was, "You seem different." And I asked him, "How so?" He said, "I don't know. You just seem different." And I knew that he could see the change in me because I felt it, and because I could feel it so intensely, I knew it was just radiating out. 2 sessions, that's it. To me, as a ICF certified coactive coach who coaches very, very successful men, it is incredibly gratifying for me to have a very powerful man who is sitting across from me, who is career-wise, they are champs at their field. They're leaders. They are sometimes warriors. At home, or when it comes to relationships, when it comes to their health, they're dying. And it's very gratifying for me to help them to balance everything out, reclaim their manhood at home, reclaim their identity with who they were prior to them coming to me. And the big thing, and I'm very passionate about this, is their health. They got themselves back on track to better health. I am very, very passionate about health. I have a high standard for myself when it comes to health. I never want to take my health for granted. Imagine if you had one car that you were going to have for the rest of your life. And you, like most people, you beat the shit out of it until there's nothing left for maybe a couple tires. Maybe there's not even any brakes left on this poor thing, and you had to Fred Flintstone it, put your, I don't know, that's going to date me here. But anyway, whatever. You just destroyed it, basically. You only had one car. I know that's impossible, but one thing that is true is you have one body. And most of you have destroyed it. If you can make it to 50 or maybe even 60 without having any health issues, consider yourself lucky. Those of you, such as me, I don't intend to have any health issues. I don't intend to have anything wrong with me. I take care of my body the way I take care of my home, the way I take care of my relationships, the way I take care of everything. I have a higher standard for things. Now, it's not perfect. It's not, anything that's extraordinary, but I do feel balanced. I feel like that's probably one of the reasons why I feel so alive. I feel so successful. I feel like I can do anything. Mentally, physically, or spiritually, I can do anything. This is what I want to help some of you. I know that there's a lot of you who are struggling, and this is the disadvantage for those of you who are highly successful, who are in the multi-8-figure range. When you're not feeling the best, maybe you'll just take a $50,000 vacation. Maybe you'll buy a $400,000, $5,000 car. Maybe you'll buy that $5 million home. Something that's going to fill in a little bit of that black hole that you feel inside. But you know as well as I know, that's just a temporary sensation. Or maybe you'll upgrade and get a new girlfriend. Or leave your current relationship with your wife just to find somebody who's 20, 30 years younger than you are. This is just transient happiness. None of this is going to be truly fulfilling. Anyway, I could go on forever about this subject, but the point I'm trying to make is that make the decision to upgrade yourself. Do better, be better, do more. You're still here. There's still time. Please comment down below, subscribe, get a hold of me. My name is Uriel Mesa, and I'm with KTSLifeCoaching.com. And as always, it is a pleasure. Thank you.